Hello there, good evening to you. Welcome, it's BOBCAST, it's Thursday night. I just can't remember the date, it's the 18th of June. And I'm here recording about 9:15. You'll see this about 10 o'clock by the time it wings its way up. I've had a few problems with the internet today, so it's sort of up and down a little bit. So I'm just hoping I have time to get it all loaded up. They're putting in super fast cables into Kelso, which is great, and we'll soon be able to download at colossal speeds, a million megabytes a second type of thing, but just huge. So that's rather good. But of course, they've got to mess around. I've also got a real crackling on the line. I thought, God, that's a pig of a call I've got to make. But yes, so there we are. What's the opposite, by the way, in the middle of lockdown of isolate? The opposite is you so early. Isolate, no, you so early. So yeah, and of course it's holiday time, really, isn't it? Beginning to get there. People thinking, actually, someone put on Facebook today, I should be jetting out to Fuerteventura. And I talk a lot about holidays because I like my holidays. And one or two people, a couple of years ago, I went to a haunted bed and breakfast in France. I have to say that place was giving me the crepes. That holiday was as flat as a pancake. It really was. It was no good whatsoever. I thought I better not do this again. I was hoping just to fry in the sun, but it was no good. Anyhow, there we are. So I also, by the way, today bought my friend an elephant for her room. And she said, thanks. I said, don't mention it. So all sorts of things meant to be going on. And I think that's one of the things that we're missing slightly, isn't it? That there's things should be happening. We'll be heading towards Civic Week and so many different things here in the borders. And this week should be the Highland Show, which of course is one of the, well, not one of the, it's the big agricultural show, I would say, in the world, but certainly in Scotland. And all these people who would be taking their prize-winning cattle, these noble men and other great people who would be there showing their cattle and their geese and their baking and their ducks and their sheep and products and so many different things, machinery, just not happening. And that's scary. And sadly, the Kelso show isn't going to happen either. So yeah, it's all sort of change, and everything's changing around. But when I was thinking about cattle and thinking about farming, one of the things that just amazes me is how precise it all is these days. It's complex. There's so much science in it, isn't there? It's not just, there's a cow or there's some crops. There's a huge amount of science and skills that go into the whole thing. And you'll be surprised to know that science wasn't one of my best subjects at school. I tried a bit of practical biology as much as I could, but I'm not going to talk about that anymore. But science, well, actually none of the subjects were brilliant for me at school. That's what I love about it. Leaving with 4 O-levels and those things, it was a very different world. On one higher, I got higher English. So science wasn't very, very special to me. And I can remember sitting in chemistry, trying to learn the periodic table and all those different things. And I'm thinking, oh, nah, Na. I wanted to post a joke, by the way, about sodium, but I was like, nah, people won't understand. So, chemistry was, and physics, but I never went anywhere near physics. Never went near physics at all. That was just completely no. And the biology. So the whole science thing was a little bit complex. But one of the things I did love was music. I wasn't very good at it, but I played the cello for a time in the orchestra. I hated that, but played the double bass and really enjoyed that. Fabulous time. And I enjoyed singing Carmina Burana and so many different things. Great opportunities that I had to sing. And as some of you know, I still sing a little bit. Not well, and certainly not professionally, but have been known just a couple of times recently to tread the boards. And last time I was singing, the guy who's accompanying me, said to me, "Why don't you do that Tom Lehrer song, the Elements?" And I thought, you are joking. There's no way I could do it. I mean, I've already told you, chemistry was not for me. And trying to learn the periodic table and then trying to learn the American ones, I thought this is a complete and utter waste of time. However, yesterday when I was looking for some poetry in my book, I came across the words to the Elements, and I thought, I just wonder if I could do that because I like singing. I love Gilbert and Sullivan. And one of my first ever stage performances, I think I was about 11, and I was Bunthorne in Patience. And I can still sing quite a lot of the Patience, the Bunthorne part. If you're anxious for to shine in a high aesthetic line as a man of culture rare, you take down all the germs of transcendental terms and plant them everywhere. You know the stuff, you know as well as I do. 20 lovesick maidens we, and a magnet hung in a hardware shop. If you haven't listened to Patience for a bit, just go and download the soundtrack to it, because there's some fabulous, fabulous songs. Patience herself sings a lovely one, saying, "I cannot tell what this love may be, that cometh to all but not to me." And there's some very, very, very good songs in there as well. So I was thinking, well, maybe the Elements I could do something with, because Tom Lehrer put them to a Gilbert and Sullivan tune, "I Am the Very Model of a Modern Major General." And I saw the poem and I thought, dare I do this? Dare I have a go at it? Because the singing is not what it used to be and my pronunciation's awful. So I'm going to say to you, I am going to have a go at this tonight. And if you think you could do it better, I really look forward to your rendition. And that would be great. I make no bones at all about trying to get it all right. But I just thought a bit of fun on a Thursday night, because we're heading towards BOBCAST number 90. Number 90, top of the house. So we're beginning to get there. I'm not sure what number this is. I think it could be 89. So tomorrow will be 90. But Friday night's a quieter night. And traditionally we don't get as many viewers on a Saturday and Sunday. Don't know why. They're all doing religion and things. So anyhow, Tom Lehrer wrote this song called The Elements, and he set it down to music by W.S. Gilbert. Or was it Sullivan? I think it was probably Sullivan, because Gilbert, of course, did the words. You think I didn't know that, did you? But I do. So two things I'm not very good at, and that's reading long words and dealing with chemistry. But I'll try to sing this periodically, as the table would think. Dee diddle little 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 dum 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 dum. There's antinomon, arsenic, aluminum, selenium, and hydrogen, oxygen, nitrogen, rhenium, and nickel, neodymium, neptunium, germanium, and iron, mercurium, ruthenium, uranium, European, zirconium, lutetium, vanadium, and lanthium, and osmium, astatine, and radium, and gold, protachinarium, idinium, and gallium, and iodine, and thorium, and thulium, and thallium. That's the way he does it. There's yttrium, yttrium, yttritium, rubidium, and boron, gladiolinum, niobidium, iridium, and strontium, and silicon, and silver, and samarium, and bismuth, bromine, lithium, beryllium, and barium. There's holmium, and helium, hafnium, iridium, and phosphorus, francidium, fluorine, and terphidium, and manganese, and mercury, molybdenum, magnesium, dysprosium, scandium, serenium, cerium, and lead, and parasidium, palladium, plutonium, palladium, pyrithium, potassium, polonium, and tantalum, titanium, tellurium, and cadmium, and calcium, and corimium, and curium. There's sulfur, californium, formidium, beryllium, and mendeleval, estonium, and nobelium, and argon, krypton, neon, radium, xenon, zinc, and rhodium, and chlorine, carbon, cobalt, copper, tungsten, tin, and sodium. These are the only ones which of the news has come to Harvard. There may be many others, but they haven't been discovered. Dear, oh dear. Well, thank you to Tom Lehrer for writing that. I think I probably got about 4 of those words right. Just Google Tom Lehrer, The Elements. Print them out and just have a go with them, because they're a great way of doing tongue twisters. I was talking on the clergy Zoom thing about singing and about diction and the way that you speak to people and the way that you put your voice out. And I was saying to them, I was telling my colleague this recently as well, that when I was being trained at college, we had a fabulous actress who was a voice production teacher, and she said that she would be cross with us if we ever went without doing some sort of work to loosen up our mouths. And so if you were at Salisbury, you'll remember this as I go, lillery, lallery, lellery, lollery, lillery, lallery, lellery, lollery, lillery, lallery, lellery, lollery, lillery, lallery, lellery, lol. And of course, I'm just busy doing nothing really. But it's very good because if you're going to use your mouth, which is the most powerful thing that you can use, particularly if you're a communicator, you've got to make sure that you've got everything working properly. If not, it just doesn't work. So I would never come and do a Bobcast without sorting it all out. Can you do that? And can you say red lorry, yellow lorry, red lorry, yellow lorry? Yesterday I was talking about seashells on the seesaw. And I didn't get that right either. But there we go. It is Thursday night. And I made a kedgeree this evening, which I have to say I put too much spice in. So when I cook kedgeree, I put some onions in a pan with a tiny bit of oil and some curry powder and a bit of ginger, and I just fry that off very gently. Then put some dry rice in, cover it all, double the quantity of water, put it in, stir it once, lid on, let it go. Get some salmon and some smoked haddock. Cook it off in a little bit of milk with some milk, butter, salt and pepper, which is rather nice. Some prawns if you've got them kicking around. And then eventually hard-boiled eggs chopped into fours, and then just marry the whole lot together in a warm pan with some butter at the bottom. Chop in some parsley. Give it a stir around, making sure you don't break up all the lovely fish. And Bob's your kedgeree priest. So I made that, but it was just a little bit too spicy. I was a bit heavy on the old curry powder. And if you like me and don't like chili, or if you eat chili, you go red in the face, then you discover there's quite a lot of curry powder in chili. Or could there even be quite a lot of chili in curry powder? Well, it depends what part of the world you're in. If you're in South America, they could find there's a lot of curry powder in chili. Right, I think that's more than enough nonsense for me to talk today. By the way, I was walking down the road today and I met my optician. And he said, "How are you, Bob?" I said, "Sorry, I've no idea who I'm talking to. Not got a clue." Yeah, okay. Well, I thought it was relatively funny, but there we go. So, look after yourselves. And there's people who are doing very well, but people who are still poorly, and people who are naturally coming to the end of their lives and all those things. So we're holding everyone in our prayers and thoughts today. And those of you who are looking after them, thank you. And pray that someone will look after us. So, watch thou, dear Lord, with those who wake or watch or weep tonight. Give your angels charge over those who sleep. Tend your sick ones, Lord Christ. Rest your weary ones. Bless your dying ones and soothe your suffering ones. Pity your afflicted ones and shield your joyous ones. All for your love's sake. Amen. I'm delighted to be able to tell you that our church will be opening next Thursday, 10 o'clock till 12 o'clock on a Thursday, and 2 o'clock till 4 o'clock on a Sunday for private prayer. I've been asked to write a little piece for the communicants, hey, whoa, and put a picture in, so we'll get our pictures taken tomorrow. Anyhow, more about that tomorrow. God bless you, take care, and look after each other, hey? Okay, thanks for listening, and go and look up The Elements, Tom Lehrer. See how you got on with those words. Maybe we could have a competition. Right, okay. Someone just said to me, "Hey Bob, how's a bike different from a trike?" And I said, well, not much really. There's only one wheel difference. Bye.